Okay. So these aren't really what we would consider, again, tracheal tubes, not like we would with that of the insects, because what is the major difference that this is illustrating, the difference between insects respiration and arachnids? Okay, so the scorpions and spiders have book lungs along with that of the ticks and mites. And what that does is that leads to the trachea rather than the external openings. That's what you would picture with that of insects. And again, we talked about that with inside the wings of insects are those tracheal tubes. And you also have, again, those external openings known as spiracles. With the way things went yesterday, it would be pretty tough to beat. The ladies, maybe. Kind of picked it up, game 2.
Yeah, big game today, so they better have their stuff together. Northwestern's really good.
Yeah, but so are we, I think.
Northwestern's like good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost to the best team. They only lost one game all year, and it's to the best team in the state. I know it doesn't really say much on Mix, though.
Okay.
And they're undefeated.
Well, I just actually have to see. Yep. Important to get that first one out of the way like they did yesterday. Okay. So as we move forward, okay, one of the things when we look at these animals, they live in extremely dry environments. Okay. So what that means is what this does, okay, it's called Malpighian tubules. What that does is it kind of replaces the function of a working kidney, especially in arachnids. Okay, so you'd have to think, not here in the Midwest, but where would be a common place where these Malpighian tubules would be very, very vital for the success of these animals. Because remember, what does a kidney do? It filters the blood, but also recycles what out of the blood? Water. You could say urine, that's true. You're pulling the water out of the urine. Okay, well, so it doesn't form urine, sorry. Okay. We're not recycling urine in our bodies. I don't want you to get that in your minds. Okay, so what that does is it pulls the water out because it's the waste products that go into the urine to be expelled. But in this case, what this does is it allows these animals to live in dry environments like, of course, deserts. Okay, whether it's the Sonoran Desert, if your geography is any good. We ever heard of the Sonoran Desert? Okay. Well, with the Sonoran, I think that's down in, what, New Mexico and Arizona. Then your Sahara, of course, is over in that of Africa. So what we see, this allows them to live in those dry environments. Is this, okay. So in any nervous system, the idea of obtaining information about the outside environment, okay? We really don't look at that in as far as with that of a mammal's or a human's sense of a nervous system. But it's what we hear, it's what we see, and as we consume those milk duds, why? I would agree. Why milk duds? Because we like them, right? Okay? So that's why you would consume them. I don't think you're going to eat anything you don't like unless you're in a really, really dire times where your brain will kind of play a trick on you so you consume things that you normally would not. That's more so of a survival factor. Okay? So with this, how are these animals getting information from the outside environment if they can't see very well? Okay, a little more specific though. Yeah, whether it's the hair or just structures on top of their skin. Now, the reason we say that is we really don't picture a lot of the insects having a lot of hairs. They're just not as prominent as what you would see on that of the tarantulas. Okay? Now, only a few species of spiders can really form images, and for the most part that's true. So who would actually have to have really good sight? Why? What? Okay, to answer that, why is it that chimps in orangutans, not tangs, orangutans, what they have really good what perception? Okay, that would be very important going from tree to tree, correct? Because I think you're going to want to see how far it is. If you are 150 feet up off the ground and you're going to make that jump from one limb to the next, you better be able to see how far it is that you're moving. So what type, where are these spiders living that have to form these images then? Not in the desert. In trees, that's right. So if they have to jump from one leaf to the next, it would probably be a good advantage for them to actually see how far it is away that they have to go. All right. So for the most part, having this good eyesight, that's just not the case with that of spiders. Yeah, they got a lot of eyes, but they just can't really see very well. All right. So then, if it's their hairs, for instance, that's true. But in human sense, where is the majority of our nerve endings? Where do you think we feel, have the opportunity, well, not opportunity, where do you think we feel the most pain? Why would, you're right, why would it be in your fingertips? Because you have lots and lots of nerve endings. You can feel objects, you can feel whether the texture of it, like this has a little more coarse, this desk, as opposed to yours, which has a nice, smooth feeling to it, okay? So if they can't see, and they don't really have a whole lot of hairs, they must be getting information about a possible prey item from something else. Because what do they spin? Yeah, they spin webs. So they could be tree dwellers that form webs, or they could be trapdoor spiders that would also form these webs and let them interpret that there's an incoming meal then. Okay, let's see. Maybe this will be it for today. What do we have next? So when we look at this one right here, judges the size and activity of its entangled prey. You suppose it's possible that they might sense something is there, but ooh, we do not want to go out there onto that web now. Probably, just on account of if it maybe destroys their web, for instance. This could be an animal that's much too big for us to try to consume. Okay, so when we get back from this weekend, keep in mind it's just a 2-day week next week. All right. So with that, we'll probably look at that timeless video we said about on Wild Discovery with that of the tarantulas. That will take place on Monday, and then we'll probably start mapping out the rest of this chapter and the semester on Tuesday. Okay, because like what we had said, 2 weeks from today is what, December 2nd? It is, if my math is correct. Okay, so if we, or I'm sorry, I was looking at Wednesday. So yes, December 2nd would be 2 weeks from this last Wednesday. Okay, and I'm sure you all know next week's 2-day week. Okay, one of the only 2-day weeks that we have this year, other than semester finals. So we will continue with this material when you get back, because when we return, okay, we'll start talking about some of their predation habits, okay, and how that ties into reproduction. So we'll probably start talking about the scorpions a little bit next week. Not a whole lot on the scorpions. Again, these are still arachnids. Just says it's a different order, just like that of the scorpions, Scorpionida. Okay. Then we talk about the crustaceans, then eventually get to the insects. Okay. And then once we get to them, yeah, spend a little bit of time on. Okay. All right. We shall catch up to you next time.